Have you ever found yourself spiraling with thoughts like, this is never going to work out for me? Or maybe I've hit my limit for how much I'm going to achieve in this lifetime. When fear, doubt, and what ifs hijack the mind, we lose access to all possibility, and it can feel easier to settle and give up. I know you, and you are not here to settle for anything less than your dreams. Today, I'm giving you a simple but powerful tool that I use to remind my brain and body that life always works out for me. This is part of the prep work that I walk my private clients through, and today I'm giving you this tool for free. If your soul knows that it's time to step into your next level, click the link below in the description and apply to work with me. So why do negative spirals happen? Our minds are wired for survival, and it defaults to worst case scenario as a safety mechanism. So it's natural to catastrophize because it gives us a false sense of control over the outcome. If we can imagine the worst case scenario, then we can brace ourselves for the impact. When you find yourself spiraling, it means your subconscious mind and nervous system need a new anchor to pull you out of that spiral and back on track, focused on your soul-led vision and moving forward with confidence and clarity. This tool that I'm about to walk you through is so simple to implement that only those who are really serious about up-leveling will implement it right after they finish this video. Because it's so simple, they will see the instant value. This is something I intuitively felt called to create for myself back in 2022. During a season of life where I felt like I was walking through quicksand, and I needed a glimmer of hope to remind me and show me that this was just a season of life, and that one day I would look back and see all of the lessons and all of the growth that came from this season. Anytime that I find myself spiraling, I look to this tool and I'm instantly recalibrated back to all that is possible for me, and it reminds me of all the ways life works out for me even when I don't know how. And it also reminds me that it's my job to stay with the vision and to take my aligned action. And it's the universe's job to unfold the how. Why this tool works so well is because it does three things. It interrupts negative spirals, it creates tangible evidence for your subconscious mind, and it builds trust in yourself and in life. What's more fascinating about this process is that we are fundamentally changing your default wiring system. Much like your computer has an operating system, as does your phone, we are changing the operating system of your mind. By creating new neural pathways, we are teaching your mind that your default state is always thinking towards abundance, always thinking towards possibility. And when you begin to show up in the world from a default state of everything's always working out for me, I just know it and I just expect it, I'm doing my part, and I know that as long as I do my part, I will be led in the right direction. I can't wait to see how it actually happens, because that's going to be part of the magic that I get to recount. Who I am is just someone who achieves their goals. That's just who I am. How empowering does that sound? To be able to wake up and feel that in your bones and in your DNA. Well, that's what we're doing in this process. We are changing the default operating system of your mind and your body. We are changing you at a cellular level. And at that point, everything becomes possible for you. So what is this tool? In 2022, I created the Miracles and Manifestations list. I needed a way to focus my mind on all the glimmers of hope and possibility, and away from all of the default catastrophizing that my mind was wired to do. So I'll give you an example from my personal list of things that I write down. In my Miracles and Manifestations list for 2025, there are things like a free room upgrade that I received when I went to New York with my husband, a complimentary mocktail. I saw snowfall for the first time. Now that to you might not sound like a big deal, but for me it felt like a miracle. So I decided to make note of it. When I hit a very big financial milestone in my investments, and I felt that that was notable and brought out a really high vibe frequency in my body. And anytime that I reread that, it makes me feel so good. A big miracle that happened to me earlier this year, about $50,000 of my student loans were dissolved, and that was huge. That was completely unexpected when I received the letter in the mail that was happening. So of course that needed a notable mention in my Miracles and Manifestations list. I received a free $5 parking at a park, and while $5 to most people might feel like that's not a big deal, what we are doing here is making note of any little, medium, or major thing that has happened in your day-to-day life that when you think about that and reflect on that moment, you think it made me feel like a lucky girl, like the lucky girl syndrome. So you make note of that and you keep cataloging everything good that keeps happening in your life. Another miracle / manifestation that came through was an $18,000 check that I received in the mail for a refund, and that was pretty cool and it felt so good. So of course we're going to log that one in, because anytime I read that, I feel so abundant and so lucky and so blessed and so supported and taken care of, and that's worth noting. Other things that have happened are other room upgrades throughout the year of visiting other hotels, roses that my husband has gifted me, and that's another example that might be bypassed by some folks, but to me that is worth noting, and that makes me feel abundant. When I receive a bouquet of roses from my husband, it makes me feel really special, really abundant, and really magnetic. So I'm gonna make a note of that. And on the list goes. And like I said, I've been keeping a running list every single year since 2022. You can keep a separate list or you can keep a running list so that when you visually scroll through it, the longer it gets, the more magnetic and abundant you feel. This year, I'm in a season of life where I took a big, bold leap to pivot my career to a completely new industry, to start a business and build a personal brand. And it's the biggest pivot I have ever done in my career. Of course, I have worried and have felt anxious because it is completely uncharted territory for me. I have felt out of my element and increasing levels of discomfort because I'm doing something new. I'm putting myself out there. I'm exercising new skills and new talents and new gifts, showing up in the world in a very different way than I have for the last 15 years. So in this season of life, I felt called to create a new list called All the Times It Worked Out For Me. In this list, I catalog all of the moments in my life that I can recall in which I was calling in something really big that I didn't know if it was truly possible for me, and somehow it worked out. What I'm doing in this process is reteaching my subconscious mind how the impossible is possible for me. My job is not to worry about how things will happen. My job is just to focus on the inspired action and the consistency and the discipline and working on my mindset and reprogramming every single day any limiting belief that might come up and shifting those every single day by using all of my practices like EFT, breath work, visualization, and hypnosis. When I look at this list, I'm going down memory lane, moments in time in which I wanted something so big. And in that moment in time, I remember thinking to myself, how is it going to be possible? There's no way that this will be possible. But somehow I held the vision. I kept going despite the fear, despite the doubt. I remember in every single one of these memories, there were points in which I thought of giving up, but something inside me kept saying, go. Move forward. This is for you. There will be a way, but just hold on to the faith and keep taking your action. And what happened on the other side once the thing actually happened is that now as I reflect on looking back on these memories, the thing that stands out to me the most is there was no way I could have predicted how these things would have happened for me, but they did. And what I'm doing in this process as I go back through my catalog of how the impossible became possible for me is I'm teaching myself and reminding myself that all of my crazy, lofty, really big, seemingly unreachable goals are possible for me. Now, my job in this season of life is to stay focused on the vision, keep doing the inspired action, keep working every single day on my mindset and working on any limiting belief that comes up. Because what's different about this season of life versus the previous ones is that now I have a new level of understanding about how my mind works. works and the tools to be able to support me through this big pivot and big change. What I know for sure is that my mindset needs to be at an elevated place. I need to be thinking in a very different way. I need to be believing in a new way at a heightened level that I have never practiced before and that is foreign to me. So I really need to be tapping into the future energy of me, the future version of me who has achieved everything that I have in my heart to achieve in this next season of life. I need to be tapping into her. And from that place, from that version of me who already achieved all of her lofty goals, what does she need to be believing about herself? What safety does she need to embrace in her body? What does she need to be doing and believing in order for that new level of abundance to feel like her new normal, like it is just a part of who she is? Whereas right now, there are some aspects of that future life that I haven't completely normalized in my body. Going back to the whole point of this exercise of logging a miracles and manifestations list and all the times it worked out for me list. What we are doing here is reminding your conscious mind and your subconscious mind that everything you have ever set out to do has always been possible. Now, you didn't know how it was going to happen, and that's not your job to figure it out. The how is the miracle. The how is the magic. That is what is going to surprise and delight you. So instead of focusing on the how and figuring out how the magic is going to happen and how the magic trick actually happened, focus on enjoying the process. Focus on enjoying becoming a new version of you. Focus on enjoying, relishing in all of your past accomplishments and celebrating everything that has happened to you, all of the miracles and manifestations that have happened to you up to now, and focus on your inspired action today. Focus on what you can do for yourself and for your goals today. The how is not for you to decide. That is the biggest thing that has come out from this exercise for me personally and what I teach to my clients. You are always supported and everything is possible for you. Creating a running list of miracles and manifestations retrains and reprograms my subconscious mind to see and expect possibility. Because the subconscious mind is consistently filtering your reality based on what you currently believe, when I consistently review these lists, I am actively retraining my mind to affirm and strengthen the belief that my goal is possible, inevitable, and completely within reach given my track record. The steps and criteria for creating your own list are very simple. Step 1, get a notebook, open your notes app or a Google Doc, and call it your Miracles and Manifestations log, or choose a name that feels more aligned to you. Step 2, write down every single example, big or small, such as a stranger paid for my coffee at my favorite cafe, a complimentary hotel room upgrade while on vacation, my investments reached $200,000, an unexpected bonus payment came in, client paid in full. For each of these, you'll want to make a note of the dates of when they happened. Step 3, add to it daily or weekly. Everything you feel is a big or a micro win qualifies to be on this list. Step 4, use it in the spiral moment. When doubt creeps in, open your list, read it, and anchor into possibility. You can choose to do as I did and create 2 separate lists based on your goals and what you need at that time, or consolidate and keep it all together in a chronological order. And that's it. It's that simple. I want you to keep adding to this list every single day. Make it a habit, make it a mini ritual throughout your day to pull up your journal or your app and to add to it. Make it something exciting that you want to look forward to. Intentionally look at your day, look at your week, and think about all the incredible things that have happened to you that cause you to smile. And now that you have your list, in a moment in which you find yourself spiraling into a negative thought pattern around your goals, perhaps thinking to yourself that it's not possible or worrying about the outcome of your big goal, I want you to pull out your list, take a deep breath into your belly and a big exhale, and start to read this list out loud to yourself. As you read every single item on this list, start to pull back the energy that you felt in that moment and bring back that joy, that excitement, that happiness, that bliss, all of it. Bring it into your body. And once you're done reading your list, say to yourself something that would feel good to you, such as, it always works out for me. Everything is always working out for me. It's not my responsibility to know the how, but I am willing to do my part and take my inspired action. Everything always works out for me. Can you imagine a time in which your default thinking is, everything is always working out for me? It just does. And that you feel it in your bones as a truth of who you are. I think that is worth every little effort that it takes to create this tool and to populate it every single day. When your default belief becomes, everything is always working out for me, your biggest goals are inevitable. Where you used to spiral thinking, it's never going to work out for me, you'll instead start to think, I've got proof that things always work out for me, which opens you up to look for even more creative ways and aligned actions to take towards your goal and focus on the momentum. Every entry you input into your miracles and manifestations list is proof that your dreams are unfolding. Now it's your turn to create your own miracles and manifestations list. Take a screenshot and tag me. I'd love to celebrate with you. You have more proof than you think. All of your big audacious dreams are on their way to you and completely inevitable. And the more you look for proof, the more you will find it, and the more you will be proven correct. Thank you so much for being here.